Hey everybody, and welcome to Fast Flag Facts with John. I'm John, and this is the show where we break down the who, what, when, where, and why of flags from around the world. We have a rarity today in the world of flags. We have some breaking flag news. Yesterday, the President of the United States unveiled the flag for the newest branch of the U.S. military, the Space Force. Who designed this flag? It was designed by a handful of artists at the Defense Logistics Agency Flag Room in Philadelphia, based on a design from the department's Institute of Heraldry at Fort Belvoir, Virginia. I actually reached out to the Institute of Heraldry for more information, and also because it's kind of cool that the US has one of those. They haven't gotten back to me yet, so I don't have specific names of specific people. If they do, I will post an update, but we're gonna try our best with this episode without their help. The design for the flag comes from the Space Force emblem, which was unveiled earlier this year, and in turn, it is based on logos and designs used by the United States Air Force since at least World War II. The names of the creators of those emblems and flags also appear lost to time. I was unable to find really any information on those older designs. What is on the flag and what does it represent? The flag represents the United States Space Force, the 6th branch of the U.S. military, and the first new U.S. military branch in over 70 years. The flag features a dark blue field meant to represent the vastness of outer space. On the center of the flag is a blue globe representing the Earth, which is the home of the Space Force. On top of the globe is a gray delta, which again is a longtime aeronautical symbol used by the U.S. military. It is not a ripoff of Star Trek. Star Trek actually based their delta on the US Air Force symbol of the 60s. The gray of the delta apparently represents the 24/7 nature of Space Force work. I don't really know what that means. The globe is being encircled by an elliptical orbit, which is meant to symbolize the Space Force's mission to defend and protect from adversaries and threats emanating in space. Again, I don't really know what that means. There are 3 constellations on the flag meant to represent the 3 purposes of the Space Force. Quote, organizing, training, and equipping. The one on top of the flag is clearly the North Star. The one on the left is meant to be the Southern Cross, which is also on the flag for Australia. And the one on the right is meant to be the Pleiades star cluster, which will be familiar to any people who are interested in conspiracy theories related to space aliens. Interesting thing to note, the constellations of the Southern Cross and the Pleiades on the flag are both upside down and backwards from what they would look like from the perspective of the United States. Take from that what you will. Finally, the text United States Space Force is visible on the bottom, along with the Roman numerals for the number 2019, which was the year that the Space Force was enacted. When was the flag implemented? Yesterday. However, the flag itself is mostly just a rectangular representation of the Space Force emblem, which was unveiled earlier this year on January 25th. And this logo in turn is based on iconography dating back to World War II, as early as 1942. It also lifts heavily from the NASA iconography of the 1960s and 1970s. Where will you see this flag? So far, we've only seen it once in the Oval Office for its unveiling and photo op moment. I imagine that eventually it will be flown at the Pentagon and probably in outer space, as well as on the uniforms of the officers enlisted. Why does this flag matter? Like it or not, the US military is a pretty big organization. About 8% of all living Americans either have served or are currently serving in the US military. And also, to put it lightly, it's an organization that affects the rest of the planet in a pretty direct way. So having a new branch to the military is something that is definitely big news. For the purposes of this channel, it's a brand new flag, which is something that does not happen too often, and I think it's worthy of a bonus episode. Let's talk about the aesthetics of the flag. If we go based off of the 5 traditional rules, this flag is considered a pretty big no-no. Just off the top of my head, it's a little too complicated to draw from memory. It uses more than 3 colors. It utilizes both text and arguably is just a seal. And also, I think it's a little bit too derivative of previous military flags and other NASA logos to be considered truly breaking new ground. If you imagine the way that this flag will be used, it does kind of fail as a flag. And if you think about it flying in outer space, the black flag against the black background of the cosmos, it'll be pretty difficult to see and make out. It will get lost in the vastness of outer space. When the United States landed on the moon in 1969, the red and the white of the US flag actually stood out very well against the blackness of space and the gray lunar landscape. Perhaps this flag would have been better served if they used lighter colors that would have stood out from those outer space backgrounds. That said, judging solely on how it looks, I kind of like it. You don't see flags too often that are these colors, and so I think that it's a little bit unique and, at least to me, pleasing to the eye. That's it from me. I will try to crack out that Tokyo video as soon as possible. In the meantime, please like and subscribe to this channel for more updates, and please follow me on Twitter, and please submit to me your flag designs and your flag theme songs to this email address. Stay tuned for more flag facts.